I had it all planned out. 5 years of marriage deserved something special, so I booked our favorite restaurant, bought a diamond bracelet I had been saving for, and left work early to surprise Madison. The velvet box sat in my jacket pocket as I drove home, my heart racing with excitement. I imagined her face when she opened it, the way her eyes would light up like they did on our wedding day. I had no idea that same night would shatter everything I believed about love and family. Before we dive into how one night destroyed 5 years of marriage, I need to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe, because what happened next will show you why forgiveness is not always the answer. Let's begin. Looking back now, I can see the signs I chose to ignore, but at the time, life felt perfect. My name is Garrett, and I met Madison 6 years ago at a coffee shop near campus. She was reading a book on childhood education, her blonde hair falling over her shoulder as she concentrated. I spilled coffee on her table, trying to reach for napkins, and somehow that clumsy moment turned into our first date. We got married 2 years later in a small ceremony by the lake. Nothing fancy, just close friends and family, exactly how we wanted it. Madison taught 3rd grade at Lincoln Elementary, and I worked as a software engineer for a tech company downtown. We bought a small house in the suburbs with a backyard that had an apple tree. Every weekend we would cook together, trying new recipes and laughing when things went wrong. We were not rich, but we were happy. We talked about having kids, maybe getting a dog, growing old together. For our 5th anniversary, I wanted to do something meaningful. Madison had mentioned loving a bracelet she saw in a jewelry store window months ago. So I worked extra hours, took on a side project, and saved every penny for 3 months. When I finally bought it, I felt like I had won the lottery. I made a reservation at Bellissimo, the Italian restaurant where we had our first real date. The plan was simple. Leave work at 4 in the afternoon, get home by 6, pick her up by 7, and have the perfect evening. That morning I sent Madison a text. "Cannot wait for tonight, baby." She replied within minutes. "Me too. Love you." Everything seemed normal. Everything seemed fine. But things had not been normal for a while. I just did not want to see it. About 3 months earlier, Madison started changing. She worked late more often, always with excuses about parent-teacher conferences or training sessions. Her phone was always face down on the table now, and she had changed her password. When I asked about it casually, she said it was just work stuff, nothing important. She stopped cooking with me on weekends. She would watch movies alone in the living room while I sat upstairs. When I tried to join her, she said she needed space to unwind. I told myself she was stressed. End of the school year was always tough for teachers. She probably had difficult students or demanding parents. I made excuses for her because I loved her and could not imagine any other reason. My best friend Trevor noticed too. One night when we grabbed beers after work, he said something that stuck with me. "Dude, you notice she is different lately." I brushed it off. "She's fine, just busy." But Trevor gave me this look like he wanted to say more but decided against it. Now I wish he had. On our anniversary, I left the office at 4 p.m. sharp. My boss smiled when I told him where I was going. He had been married for 20 years and understood. I stopped at a flower shop and bought 24 red roses, her favorite. The bracelet box felt heavy in my pocket, a good kind of heavy. I was so focused on making the night perfect that I did not notice the storm coming. I pulled into our driveway at 5:30 p.m. The sun was still bright and the neighborhood was quiet. Then I saw it. A gray Honda Civic parked on the street in front of our house. I did not recognize it. Maybe one of Madison's teacher friends stopped by, I thought. Maybe she needed to borrow supplies or drop off papers. I grabbed the roses and walked to the front door. The house was quiet when I stepped inside. Too quiet. Then I heard it. Laughter. Soft laughter coming from upstairs. My stomach dropped. Something felt wrong. I set the roses on the kitchen counter and stood there listening. The laughter came again, followed by voices I could not quite make out. My hands started shaking. I do not know why. Some part of me already knew what I was going to find, but I had to see it. I had to know. I walked to the staircase and started climbing. Each step felt like it took forever. The voices got clearer. Madison's voice, and a man's voice I did not recognize. The bedroom door was slightly open. I stopped at the top of the stairs and looked through the gap. What I saw destroyed me. Madison was in our bed. Our bed. The one we picked out together at that furniture store, the one with the white comforter we bought last Christmas. And she was not alone. A man I had never seen before was with her, his hands on her skin, his lips on her neck. They were so wrapped up in each other that they did not hear me standing there. I stood frozen for maybe 10 seconds. My brain could not process it. This was not real. This was not happening. Not today. Not on our anniversary. Not in our bed. But it was real. Every horrible second of it was real. Then something inside me snapped. I pushed the door open hard. It slammed against the wall with a loud bang. Madison screamed and jerked away, pulling the white comforter up to cover herself. The man, whoever he was, jumped up so fast he nearly fell off the bed. His face went completely pale. I did not yell. I did not scream. My voice came out cold and steady, which surprised even me. On our anniversary, really, Madison started crying immediately. "Garrett, I can explain. Please, I can explain." I looked at her, at this woman I had loved for 6 years, and I felt nothing but emptiness. "Explain what, that you are sleeping with another man in our bed. What exactly do you want to explain?" The man was scrambling to put his clothes on. His hands were shaking so bad he could barely button his shirt. He mumbled something I did not catch. "Man, I did not know it was your anniversary." Like that made any difference. Like that made it better. I turned to him. My voice was still calm, but there was steel in it. "Get out of my house. Now." He did not need to be told twice. He grabbed his shoes and ran down the stairs, still trying to zip his pants. I heard the front door slam a few seconds later. Then it was just Madison and me. She pulled on a robe and stood up, tears streaming down her face. "Garrett, please, please let me explain. It just happened. I did not plan this." I stood in the doorway of our bedroom looking at her, the woman I thought I knew, the woman I thought would never hurt me. It just happened. "For how long, Madison?" She did not answer. She just kept crying. How long I was not asking anymore. I was demanding. Her voice came out as barely a whisper. 3 months. 3 months. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. All those late nights, all those excuses, all those times she said she was too tired to talk, too stressed to spend time with me. She was with him. For 3 months she'd been lying to my face every single day. I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out the velvet box. I did not open it. I just set it on her dresser. "I bought this for you. Saved for 3 months. Every extra hour I worked, every side project I took, it was for this." Madison looked at the box and cried harder. "I am so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I love you. I swear I love you. But you did hurt me." I pulled out my phone and took pictures. The messy bed, her robe, everything. Evidence. I needed evidence. "What are you doing?" She looked panicked now. "Protecting myself. I want a divorce." The word hung in the air like a bomb. Madison's face went white. "No. Please, Garrett. No. We can work this out. We can go to counseling. I will do anything." I walked toward the door. "There's nothing to work out. You made your choice 3 months ago. Where are you going?" She followed me down the stairs, still crying. I grabbed my keys from the hook by the door. "Anywhere but here. Do not call me." I left. I got in my car and drove. I did not know where I was going. I just drove until I ended up at Trevor's apartment. He opened the door, took one look at my face, and knew something terrible had happened. "What happened, man?" I told him everything, every detail. Trevor just listened, his face getting angrier with each word. When I finished, he put his hand on my shoulder. "Man, I am so sorry. Stay here as long as you need." That night I could not sleep. My phone kept buzzing. 47 missed calls from Madison. Text messages filled my inbox. "Please answer. I love you. It was a mistake. I will end it with him. Please come home." I blocked her number. Then I looked at our wedding photo on my phone. We looked so happy, so innocent. I deleted it. The next morning my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Garrett, we need to talk. It was Richard Madison's father. There is nothing to talk about. Madison told us everything. You need to come home. That is not my home anymore. Do not be dramatic. Marriages have problems. You work through them. His voice was firm, like he was scolding a child. I felt anger rising in my chest. Problems. She cheated on me. She made a mistake. She is young. You are being too harsh. I could not believe what I was hearing. Too harsh. Your daughter slept with another man for 3 months. In our bed. On our anniversary. And I'm being too harsh. Before Richard could respond, I heard Patricia Madison's mother take the phone. Garrett, honey, Madison is devastated. She loves you. You need to forgive her. That is what marriage is about. No. Marriage is about trust. She destroyed that. You are throwing away 5 years over one mistake that lasted 3 months. In our bed on our anniversary, I was shouting now. Richard got back on the phone. If you divorce her, you will regret it. We raised her better than this. Give her another chance. I hung up. My hands were shaking. They were defending her. Her own parents were making excuses for what she did. They wanted me to just forgive and forget like it was nothing. On Monday morning, I walked into the office of Angela Martinez, a divorce attorney Trevor recommended. She was in her mid-40s, sharp-eyed, with a reputation for being tough but fair. I showed her everything. The pictures, the timeline, the text messages from Madison begging me to come back. Angela looked over the evidence and nodded. You have a strong case. Adultery in a no-fault state still matters for settlement negotiations. How do you want to proceed? I want this done fast. I do not want to drag it out. Do you want to keep the house? I shook my head. No. I want out of everything that reminds me of her. I will take my fair share and move on. What about her family? They will likely pressure you to reconcile. They already did. Told me I should forgive her. Angela was not surprised. That is common. Family protects family, but you need to protect yourself. Let me handle this. I signed the papers right there. Angela said she would have Madison served by the end of the week. Walking out of that office, I felt lighter than I had in days. It was the first step toward freedom. On Wednesday, Trevor was at work and I was alone at his apartment when someone knocked on the door. I opened it to find Madison standing there. Her eyes were red and swollen. She looked like she had not slept in days. How did you find me? I asked around. Please, can we talk? No. I started to close the door, but she put her hand on it. I ended it with Kyle. It is over. I choose you. Kyle. So that was his name. I felt nothing hearing it. You do not get to choose anymore. I already made my choice. Please, Garrett, I will do anything. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. Just, please do not give up on us. I want a divorce. You will be served papers tomorrow. Her face went pale. You already filed. Yes, it is done. Madison dropped to her knees right there in the hallway. Please, Garrett, I made a mistake. Do not throw us away. I looked down at her kneeling there begging and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just emptiness. You threw us away 3 months ago. Every lie, every time you came home from his place pretending everything was fine. You did this. I love you. If you loved me, you would not have done this. Goodbye, Madison. I closed the door and locked it. I heard her crying on the other side for a few minutes before she finally left. That evening, Richard and Patricia showed up at Trevor's place. They pounded on the door so hard I thought they might break it. Trevor answered, clearly annoyed. Can I help you? We are here for Garrett. Richard pushed past him into the apartment. I stood up from the couch. What do you want to talk sense into you? Patricia looked furious. You filed for divorce. Yes, you're making a huge mistake. Madison is sorry. She made one mistake. You are throwing away everything. I do not care. I was done being polite. She is our daughter. You are destroying her. The anger I had been holding back exploded. I am destroying her. She destroyed our marriage. She lied to me for 3 months. She cheated on me in our bed on our anniversary. And you want me to just forgive her? Richard stepped forward. Marriages survive worse. Our neighbors John and Susan, he cheated twice, and they are fine now. So I should just accept it. Just let her keep lying to me. Just pretend it never happened. Patricia put her hand on her hip. You should be a man and forgive. That is what real love is. Something inside me snapped. Real love is not cheating. Real love is not lying. Real love is not making excuses for someone who hurt you. If you think I should just accept betrayal because she is your daughter, then you are as wrong as she is. Richard's face turned red. If you go through with this, you are not welcome in our family anymore. Good. I do not want to be part of a family that thinks cheating is just a mistake. I do not want to be part of a family that values their daughter's feelings more than basic human decency. They left, slamming the door behind them. Trevor came over and sat down next to me. Man, they are completely delusional. I know, but I realized something tonight. They have always been like this. Remember last year when Madison crashed the car into a mailbox? They blamed the mailbox for being too close to the road. When she got a bad performance review at work, they said her principal was jealous. It has always been their princess can do no wrong. The next day, I called Angela. I want to make sure they cannot contact me during the divorce proceedings. I will handle it. You should also block their numbers. I did. Richard, Patricia, even Madison's younger sister who had sent me a message calling me heartless. I blocked them all. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. The divorce took 4 months to finalize. Madison tried to fight it at first, but when she realized I had evidence and was not backing down, she gave up. We split everything 50-50. I took my half, moved into a new apartment closer to work, and started over. 6 months after the divorce was final, I was finally starting to feel like myself again. My new apartment was small, but it was mine. No memories, no ghosts, just clean white walls and furniture I picked out myself. Minimalist, simple, exactly what I needed. The first few weeks were hard. I would wake up and forget for a second that I was not in my old house. I would reach for my phone to text Madison about something funny I saw, then remember. Those moments hurt, but they got less frequent as time went on. Trevor was amazing through all of it. Every weekend we would go hiking or play basketball at the park. He never pushed me to talk about it, but he was always there when I needed him. I started going to the gym regularly. I read books I had been meaning to read for years. I even picked up guitar, something I had always wanted to learn. Work became my focus. I threw myself into projects, stayed late, volunteered for the difficult assignments nobody else wanted. My boss noticed. 3 months after the divorce, I got promoted to senior engineer with a significant raise. The extra money helped me build a new life, one where I did not have to think about Madison every day. One Saturday afternoon, I was grocery shopping when I saw her. Madison was in the produce section looking at apples. She looked thinner, tired. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. She saw me at the same time I saw her. For a second, we just stared at each other. Then she gave me a small, sad smile. "Hi, Garrett." "Hi." I kept my voice neutral. "How are you?" "Good." "You okay?" She paused like she wanted to say more. "I heard about your promotion. Congratulations." "Thanks." I started to walk away. "Garrett, wait." She took a step toward me. "I just want you to know I'm sorry. For everything. I know it does not change anything, but I needed to say it." I looked at her. This woman who used to be my entire world. And I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just indifference. I appreciate that. "Take care of yourself, Madison." I walked away. No long conversation, no closure speech. Just a polite goodbye to someone I used to know. Later that week, Trevor told me he had run into Madison's sister at a coffee shop. Apparently, Madison and Kyle broke up after 2 months. He had a girlfriend the whole time, and Madison was just a side thing to him too. Now, Madison was living with her parents again. Trevor also heard through mutual friends that Richard and Patricia were telling everyone at family gatherings that I was too stubborn, too unforgiving, that I threw away a good marriage over pride. They made me the villain in their story. "Are not you angry?" Trevor asked. "No, they made their choice. I made mine. I do not need their approval or their understanding. I know what happened. That's enough." And it was. I stopped caring what they thought. I stopped caring what anyone who took Madison's side thought. They were not there when I came home to find my wife in bed with another man. They were not there when her parents told me to just get over it. They did not get a vote in my healing. One evening I was sitting on my balcony watching the sunset over the city. The sky was orange and pink, beautiful and calm. I thought about everything that had happened, the betrayal, the divorce, the anger, the pain, and I realized something important. Forgiveness is not always the right answer. Some people will tell you that holding on to anger will hurt you more than them. Some people will say you need to forgive to move on, but that is not true. You do not need to forgive someone who showed you exactly who they are. You do not need to make excuses for people who hurt you deliberately and repeatedly. What you need is boundaries, self-respect, the courage to walk away from people who do not value you. Madison did not make one mistake. She made a choice every single day for 3 months. Every time she lied about working late, every time she deleted messages, every time she came home and kissed me, knowing where she had been. Those were choices. And her parents made a choice too. They chose to protect their daughter instead of acknowledging what she did was wrong. They chose to pressure me into accepting betrayal instead of supporting what was right. That told me everything I needed to know about them. I do not hate Madison. I do not hate her parents. I just do not have room for them in my life anymore. And that's okay. Letting go does not mean you are bitter. Sometimes it just means you are done. A year after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name was Julia, and I met her through friends at a dinner party. She was a graphic designer with a bright smile and a sharp sense of humor. We started talking, and I found myself laughing for the first time in months. We went on a few dates, nothing serious yet. I was not ready to rush into anything, but I was open to the possibility. That was progress. I was not the same person I was a year ago. I was stronger, wiser, more careful with my heart, but I was not broken. Madison did not break me. She just taught me what I will not accept. Some people will tell you that I should have forgiven her, that I should have gone to counseling and tried to save the marriage. Those people do not understand that some things are not worth saving. A marriage built on lies and betrayal is not a marriage. It is a prison. Some people will say I was too harsh, too cold, too unforgiving. Let them say it. They did not walk in my shoes. They did not feel what I felt. And they do not get to tell me how to heal. I learned that you do not owe anyone your peace of mind. You do not owe anyone a second chance to hurt you, and you definitely do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. That is the lesson I learned the hard way, but I would not change a thing. Looking back, I am grateful, not for the pain, but for the clarity. Madison showed me exactly who she was. Her parents showed me exactly who they were, and I showed myself exactly who I am. Someone who will not compromise my self-respect for anyone. Someone who knows when to walk away. Someone who understands that being alone is better than being with people who do not respect you. So here I am. A year and a half after everything fell apart, living in my own place, thriving at work, surrounded by real friends who supported me through the worst time of my life. Open to new possibilities, free from people who did not deserve me, and completely at peace with my decision. That is my story. That is how I caught my wife cheating on our anniversary, how her parents took her side, and how I filed for divorce and cut them all off. No regrets, no looking back, just moving forward. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone expected you to forgive the unforgivable? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories. Share this with anyone who needs to hear that choosing yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. Thank you for watching, and remember, you deserve people in your life who value you. Never settle for less. Take care.